So we're going to dive in right into the first question here, which is where to start. So you need a website. Where do you start? And knowing what you like and what you want, and like knowing the difference between what you like and what you want. So, what's the process look like when you're first starting out in that area of trying to build a website?
Um, for me, starting off building a website, I tend to build from scratch. So, as far as a client and what they're wanting, versus what they like, I get a general sense of what they like, based off of like three links that they may send me. So if they send me a link to three different websites, I just take an analysis of those websites. I kind of take all three of them and mash it into one. And then I start developing. So my first thing that I actually start doing is the analyzation part. And from there, once I start analyzing and actually just reviewing everything, then I start building from scratch from the beginning, meaning that I have a blank canvas, and then I just build everything from there based off of what I have. And then I actually do take a software that I use and actually construct a rough draft of what the website will look like before actually completing it.
Okay. And what are some things that you would probably like recommend if somebody is to come to you and say that they need a website? What should they have like already established before they even say they need a website?
So this is something that I'm very big on, is making sure that you have your content. So, before you book with me, I feel like with me or any other designer, you should already have in place what you're wanting. So you shouldn't book and then give us like months later and then like, hey, yeah, I finally got my content. Like your content should actually be already constructed. You know what you want on the pages, the verbiage that you want. If you have product, it's already done went through the product photo shoot type of deal. It's no questions about it. All you have to do is book and send, and then that makes the process easier for the designer of the site versus we have to contact you like, hey, we haven't heard from you. You booked like 3 months ago or 6 months ago, and we haven't heard from you. So, how would you like to proceed? So, really, in reality, you should have your photo shoot pictures if you're doing headshots, stuff like that, for your brand. Have those done before. Don't book and then say, hey, I got a photo shoot 3 months down the line. That's really something that I strive to prevent because we want to get your website out whenever we need to get it out. So, with that being said, no screenshots of products. So, you don't want to have screenshots for the product at all. You don't want that. You want to actually have the a photographer actually take those pictures and make sure that you have a print release as well, and do not edit your own pictures. So make sure that you get a photographer to edit those images and send you a print release. So whenever you send it over to the website designer, that is all in place and there's no questions of any information that you've given them.
Right. Yeah, that's very important. And I was just thinking like how there is, I guess, to make even more, I guess, the process more, not confusing and very easy for the graphic designer is to also have like your, I'm going to say like the way that you plan to have your, I guess, your content laid out, like navigation wise, like where's from your homepage, where are you going to go, what are people going to be clicking to go to where, because you don't want to have your graphic designer trying to map it out,
Right.
and trying to figure out like where you're, what
Where you want to
what
go.
yeah, where you want your people to go. So that's kind of important too.
Make sure you have your domains, your premiums already lined up. So whenever you send it over to us, it's no questions asked about it, because it does sometimes take 24 to 72 hours for a domain to actually connect. And sometimes it takes even longer if we're coming from a third party. So for instance, if I'm using Wix and someone has me taking something from GoDaddy or Shopify, it can delay the process. So whatever the actual process is for that, we have to wait. And if you have a deadline that you're trying to launch by, it makes it very hard, and you may not actually launch on time because of the fact that that premium and domain was not actually registered before even talking to the website designer.
Right. Yeah. And then another thing you probably want to even factor in as far as timing, if you have like a specific deadline, since you have that 48, sometimes 72 hours where the website won't be actually live, you probably want to factor in making, to test out the website first,
Right.
before you actually make it live. So it will be live, but it's probably not like live to, or I guess your audience doesn't know that your website is live, just so you
Right.
can go through and test everything, make sure everything is functioning properly. And especially if you have like a store and you want to make sure that, you're able to accept payments on your website. So that's all good information to kind of take in, so then that way you don't have any hiccups, delay. Like if you have some major launch and you're expecting to generate some kind of income from the launch, and not being able to have that stuff in place is very important.
Most definitely.
So yeah. So we're going to move on to our next topic, which is the different types of website designs. And to my knowledge, there may be more, but we're just going to be focusing on the one pager and the multiple pages.
Yes.
So let's, get that kind of, I guess, in checked or in line as far as what are the different types of website designs.
So there's a lot. There's a lot of different type of ones that we have here, but between a one pager versus a multiple pager one, it just depends on your content. Really and honestly, so some people that have booking sites, they don't need multiple pages. They can go for a one page website, and it has everything on there from booking to about the person to about the products that they sell, and then as well as their booking information and so forth, and they're gone. That's kind of like churches. Churches can get a one pager, some get multiple pages if they have a lot going on in their churches. But starting off, they can be a one page website. Now, multiple pages, I recommend them for e commerce websites. So that means if you're selling your product, selling, services, stuff like that. I recommend a multiple page website. Only reason why is because that gives us room and space. If we need to have other things connecting different places, that gives us a lot of playground room to do what we need to do. Versus a one page, when you want to have your products, you don't want to have all your products on a one page website. That's like a lot of products, especially with the clients that I have. So,
Mm-hmm.
300, sometimes 400 products is not going to fit on a one page website. So it has to go on another tab in their own store. And then you have your own categories. Like some people have dresses, some people have suits, some people have different things. So they got to break those categories down. So they have to have additional, I call it, pages within a page so that they're able to get those features that they want with that actual website. So e-commerce websites, I recommend to have a multiple page one, unless you're only uh, selling like one product, which if that's the case, you only need a one pager. But um, e-commerce, I do highly recommend multiple pages. Stuff like booking music artists, stuff like that, I recommend. You can have a multiple page one, or you can have that one page option, which I would recommend if it's like a booking site or something like that, unless you have like other things like you're installing iTunes Music in Spotify and all that in one area.
Right. Yeah. Definitely. Because the one pagers, I feel like they're nice and simplistic,
Hmm.
especially if you're, I mean, not trying to overwhelm the people that actually come to visit your website, and you're just trying to generally, I think of a website as maybe like a kind of like a online, like a traveling portfolio. Like you don't
Yeah.
have an actual physical portfolio, but something that you can just like, send somebody if they really wanted to look more into what you're offering, or if you're a person in the industry and you're just trying to find different gigs or things like that,
Right.
that they can just go and see that information. And then of course the multiple pages are, like you said, for your stores, things like things that have, I guess, more than one product or one more than one service, for a multiple page. So that's really good information. So our final and last topic we're going to be talking about is the website layout. So it's kind of important. We kind of briefly, talked about what to include on your website, but we can probably dive even deeper into what we can include, like for our website layout.
So for our website layout, there's so much that you can really add. My standard go to is the home, about, contact us, shop store, um, and really that's it. That's like my standard couple tabs that I will have. But of course, you're able, for instance, if like you're working on, for instance, a store, you're able to include those actual categories, from dresses to suits to shoes, handbags, whatever it may be. You're able to add those components. Now, as well, for me, when I'm making create a website, I have these individual tabs that sometimes go to the same page. It just drops down to where the information is to make it more I guess faster, if we can think about it, to be able to get the customer there in and out, so they know, okay, what they're looking for. It's not hard to figure out what I'm looking for on the website. It gives it that ease of making it faster and quicker for them. um, Another thing that I personally do, and I really believe that you do as well, is the back office. Back office plays a major factor in a actual website. Many people that try to create their own website, they do not understand that the back office plays a bigger part than you just simply designing that website.
Right.
Your back office, if your back office isn't good, you're going to have problems with generating sales. You're going to have problems with people trying to find things within, like if they have to go to Google or something to look you up, they will not be able to find that because you only focused on the appearance. So that's why it's important, as entrepreneurs, that whenever you're working with actual website designers and you request this information, you make sure that you're looking to make sure, do they get you on Google?
Mm-hmm.
Do they participate in SEO? Because not every website designer does SEO, which is the way that we
Search.
can generate that traffic.
Right.
If we
Yeah.
can, sum it up, it generates that traffic to your site. So
Mm-hmm.
some people, they don't see results because they don't have SEOs done. They don't have the back office properly uh, looked at and reviewed, because they just think, well, we got to put the payment method in and that's it, and push publish, and my
Mm-hmm.
website is live. But it comes to more than just pushing publish to go live, because the back office, it plays a major part. So some people do not see as many results from their websites the way that they're wanting to. They probably have great product, but it's just they don't have everything completed because whoever worked on their website prior, or if they did it themselves, they only focused on that appearance versus everything else that plays a real big factor on getting you seen and looked at. I don't think Fashion Nova just created an appearance and then boom, everybody started coming to them. It was the SEO, it was stuff that they were putting behind the scenes that drew the clients to them, or the customers to them, by what they were putting inside of the Google search. Okay, they were looking for clothes. They had stuff like that in their SEO, stuff like that. It brings a lot of attention to it, and that's why I tell a lot of entrepreneurs that I work with, do your SEO, especially if I'm working on it, SEO and so forth, and then you can have that extra cushion. If you want extra, you can do the Google ads and the
Right.
Facebook ads and the Instagram ads. Uh, I have clients even now. I just saw a report. She had 7.8K people look at her web page just because she ran the Google ad.
Right.
So it's not that, it's not that it can't be done. It's just if your SEO and your back office isn't done, and then on top of that, your appearance is everything. So you want to make sure your appearance represents your brand, because if you got a jacked up appearance, people are going to come to your site and they're going to exit right back out. It
Right.
doesn't draw them in. And
Right.
that's the thing that a lot of us entrepreneurs and um, so forth, we look at stuff. Even consumers, they look at what your appearance of your brand look like. So if it looks like it was, done in 24 hours, then they're not going to buy from you. And no, a website cannot take 24 hours. I just don't have to say
Right.
somewhere.
It
You
definitely takes time. Hmm.
building a website take time.
Right.
24 hours is not enough time. Even 7 days at times is not enough time to
Right.
do what you need to do. So
Right.
if a website designer is telling you it's going to take 6 weeks, it legit may take them 6 weeks because of what they're doing behind the scene. And then the pricing that you paid, you want that to be, you want it to be really, really good for the amount that you're paying, because
Right.
again, the websites are costly. Yes, we make it affordable, but at the same time, a $20 website versus a 1,500 website, we got to take a look at what's being offered. Are you only
Right.
going for appearance, or are you going for, everything? Like, I really want to take my business from a new level to
Right.
something else. I want to be that next billionaire company. Kaleidoscope did not go, uh, overnight to being a $1 billion industry, or whatever it is, $1 billion company overnight. They started
Right.
and started and started, and they had to make sure their SEO was right. They had to make sure their products were right. They didn't just throw products up there that was took in with a cell phone. They actually had somebody come in and take those images to make it look the way that it looks. So always focus on the brand and how you want to be perceived. That's why us website designers take the time that we take, so that we can kind of get your brain and understand your brain, and then boom, like, your work is finished and you're like, I'm pleased and satisfied, versus that 24-hour, 48-hour website and you're fussing because you paid $20 for it and you don't like it now.
Right. Definitely takes time. Definitely. But yeah, like it's very important because you kind of, website, like you said, websites don't happen overnight. They take time. And then especially putting all that work into the back office, which is not very much seen to those who are, going to your website. So that's like that's a whole other part of the website that
Right.
you probably didn't even know existed until you got your own website built. But yeah, it's definitely important. And also, connecting it to the Google, like Google's like the most, I don't know, like prized place to have your website,
Right.
published, like listed at, because everybody uses it.
Right.
So definitely important to have that in place. And the SEO, which is search engine optimization, you definitely want to have that, because if you don't have that, nobody is going to see you.
Nobody's gonna
Nobody's not going to
know.
find your
Nobody's
website.
gonna know
Yeah.
about you.
Right. Yeah. But some final questions. So we kind of already answered. You can't have your website built in 24 hours. It's recommended to have at least a month, or longer if it needs to be, depending on how much content you're actually putting into your website. Having a website, does it increase my sales?
Okay, so do a website increase your sales? I say yes. I have met many entrepreneurs, especially starting off, they were doing only local sales. So of course they were making some good money because they knew friends in the city and their friends recommend them out, and everything was really word of mouth.
Right.
Until I met them and I had to break this down. Your business can skyrocket just by having a website. What does that mean and what does that look like? You were making about $500 every week in the city with the local people. But then again, now these 500 people or however many people that you've connected with, they have social media. So they get on there and they start talking about your product. Well, if you tell them, hey, go on there and share my stuff, you can't only tell them that I only serve the locals, because what's going to happen is it limits you from what you want to do. So when I recommend the website, I've seen the results. I've seen the results with someone that had did local. They were not making as much money
Mm-hmm.
selling their actual items in the city.
Mm-hmm.
And then they went, I built their website less than a week. This chick had 60 sales. And I'm not exaggerating. And her products are over, $60 a piece. So, you know, it's all based off of that. So yes, it increases your income, it increase your traffic, everything else, because now you can take people from Maryland, you can take people from Pennsylvania, you can take people from Florida, and you live somewhere else. All you have to do is ship that package off. And guess what's going to happen? Hey, I got my package from this girl and this guy, and guess what? I love the product. So now these people want to get in on it. Okay, I like that product. I like how you wore that outfit, so I want to go buy it now. And guess what? Now it's now word of mouth, not just in your local area. It's now based off of worldwide now, because now you got everybody talking in different areas and promoting your brand. So yes, I highly recommend having a website, and plus it makes you look more official. You're saying that you're a business owner and you're selling your product out of your car. They don't The world don't need to know that you're selling it out of your car, as long as you're getting the product to them. So whenever you're looking and you're talking to people, you want to establish that you are a business owner. You may sell your stuff out of your car, but you want to establish that it's a business owner. You're a business owner until you get a warehouse or something like that.
Right. Yeah.
So you don't want to say, oh, I don't need a website because I'm only serving to local people, because now you're minimizing yourself on what you can do. But you want to have, this $1 billion company, but you're only servicing a local community of probably
Mm-hmm.
12,000, 15,000 people, and not all the 12,000 or 15,000 people are going to buy from you. It's probably a good 100 of them that may know you and they shop from you. So that's how they, feel about your brand. So they're able to work with you on your brand that way. But as far as a website increasing your actual income, most definitely. I've seen it happen. I've seen people that were getting no sales to now they have a lot of sales just because they got a website, because people are going to and this is just me thinking personally to myself and how I shop. If you tell me I got a pair of, I don't know, red bottoms in your car, and you're telling me, I'm like, okay, I want to shop, I want to make sure, you're telling me this all online that you're going to sell this product. I'm like, okay, cool. Let me go online to check you out. Well, I don't have a website, I can't buy from you, because
Mm-hmm.
how do I know that my payment is secured?
Right.
How do I know that? Because you're just telling me something that I like, and then you're like, oh yeah, just send me the payment, and then I'll ship it off. But that's why you have a website. So number one, a website is a form of documentation. So if someone come on your site and they purchase from you, you have an actual invoice in there that states so and so at the address of such and such ordered this. Okay, what's your shipping rate? What's your shipping time frame? Okay,
Mm.
put your tracking number in, and it makes you look legit versus you just telling me send the money and you'll send me a tracking number. Also,
Right.
another form of way of stop accepting Cash App as your form of payment if,
Mm.
once you move up, not saying that Cash App, don't get me wrong, is a bad platform, but let's not be your only platform.
Right.
Cash App should not be your only platform for what when you're selling your actual products. That's when you get PayPal. That's when you get Afterpay, uh,
Mhm.
Square, whatever else that comes along with these different entities that they're reliable. So if, for instance, I don't get my product and you never sent it to me, guess what I can do? I can dispute it. And
Right.
I can fix that versus just send me the money through Cash App and I'm gonna send you a tracking number.
Mhm.
No, that's not how we're going to do that. Because if I go online and order my product, they're going to send me a confirmation email, which I know I'm not going to get from you because I sent the money
Mhm.
that way. And number two, they're going to hit me with a tracking number once it's ready to be sent out. If it's the next day, if it's 5 days from now, I'm going to get a tracking number so I'm able to track where my package is so that I don't have any questions of, you know, did they take my money? And not saying everybody is like that, don't get me wrong, but it's important as a business owner to have it. It's important to have it so that you can open yourself up to other people worldwide versus in your one area and everyone knows you and your family is buying from you and your friends are buying from you. What if I want to buy from you? Can I buy from you? Do you have a website? Is your website active and functioning and looks presentable? Because again, it's your brand.
Right. Exactly. Because I was just thinking, like, when you were talking about not trying to limit yourself as far as where you're able to like get your product out to people, even trying not to limit yourself to like one form of payment, like to have multiple ways that people are able to pay for your services or pay for whatever you're offering as a brand is kind of important as well, because then like if you just stuck in just this one avenue of like which you know the way you're accepting payments, that also limits you, and then sometimes that can also deter people and turn away sale basically. So having the option to do a card option through, I guess, PayPal, or to do a card option through Square, things like that. Because I mean, a lot of people have preferences basically,
Mm-hmm.
and you're trying to appease to your your customers basically. So, having those various payment options available is kind of important and goes along with what you're saying as far as not limiting yourself. As, if you're doing local, why not do, worldwide?
Oh,
Yeah, so
and pay
definitely.
for shipping. It's not like you got to pay for shipping. You just
Right.
charge that
Put it in
shipping
your
fee
price.
on in there. Add that in there so that you can ship your products out.
Right.
I mean, it's it plays a lot. A website is going to play a big factor in how your business succeeds. Some people can get away with not having a website because I don't know how they're doing it, and I don't question how they do it. I mean, if that's their preferred method, I just don't need a website to do what I'm doing, and they're making money. I really, at the long run, feel like they could be making more than what they have currently if they opened it up to other people because now they know about your business and they know about your brand. And
Right.
that's the one thing that I harp on with my clients is making sure that you know your brand. Make sure that you like your brand because anybody can go and make a website. It'll be wrong if they don't practice. But
Right.
you know, it takes a lot. You have to invest in your brand. Investing means you got to pay money. So you can't
Right.
expect, you can't expect a website designer. I've seen people, I'm only going to pay $50 for a website.
Right.
What website are you getting? Like you pay for you really pay for what you
Which you
get.
what you get.
So
Yeah,
if
definitely.
you get a whole, a mess of a website because you paid $50, that's just you. I mean,
Right.
it's like
Exactly.
if I know that I want to go and get a Louis Vuitton purse, and I meet somebody that's like, I can give you this same Louis Vuitton purse, even though I know it's $3,000. I and you're telling me you're going to give it to me for $50. That sounds really, really good, but what's the catch? If I take it home, will it fall apart? Will it
Mhm.
not operate the same as if I had the real thing?
Right.
So won't you just invest? And if you can't, if you can't pay, like for instance, 1,500 is a lot of money. Yes, we know, or whatever it may be for a website. But I guarantee you, there are website designers that have payment plans. You can ask about that. You're able
Right.
to talk to them to see, hey, I'm on a budget. What can we do? How can we make this process, easy for us so that you
Hmm.
get paid and so that I can have, the website that I
Right.
desire to have. If you don't never ask us, how do we know? You're just saying,
Right.
oh, the prices are too high. You can't say that because you don't know what comes with
With it.
building a website, because
Right.
it takes time. So what do you
Hmm.
think? The 6 weeks that we just sitting there, like just looking at the screen? No, we got
Right.
to go in. We have to build. Some of us code. We have code.
Hmm.
Coding takes a lot of work. So if we're coding, it might take me 6 weeks to do your website if I'm coding,
Right.
because everything else. Imagine back a visible backlight in an actual area, or a back screen in a screen that you're already looking at, and you got to manually put everything in for it to do what it needs to do to create the website that you're looking for. So if you can't pay for it right then and there, number one, don't ask for a discount, but ask, is there a payment plan? So,
Right.
so that we can know what we're working with, because some of us are actually willing to say, okay, we can do a payment plan. Okay, it's going to take me about this long to do it. Okay, are you able to make a payment of this amount every 2 weeks, every month, however it may be? Well,
Right.
some of us take about a month. So, are you able to make this payment? We can break this down in 3 installments, 4 installments, however it may need to be done, so that you're able to get what you need. But if you never tell us that, hey, you need a payment plan, because I feel like it's pride, you know, we won't never know. We just like, okay, you just don't want the service, but then you hit us with your prices are too high, but you don't know the backstory of why the price is the way that it is. It's not just somebody going in and making an appearance and saying, I'm going to charge you $1,500. That's the
Right.
next. We're doing real stuff that real designers do. So it
Right.
requires the amount of money because of the time that we have to take. And then as well as we have families, and some of us, have lives outside of our business, and we're like, okay, I got to take this extra time in to do this, and don't let it be a rush order, and we got to charge you a rush fee, and then you're upset about the rush fee. But it's not that we just want to take all your money. That's just not how that goes. Our time is very valuable, and that's why we tell you, have this stuff ready for us when you book, so that we're not chasing you, trying to get you to provide the information, because you booked with us, so we want to give you the best experience, versus
Right.
we have to hound you down. Basically, we already know we got a non-refundable deposit and a second portion of the invoice that has to be paid. But we shouldn't have to hound you. We want to make sure that you're you know taken care of. So when you make your money, our name is on there. Okay,
Mhm.
so also made this website, and the
Right.
people are gonna be like, wow, this person made this wonderful website. I want to be an entrepreneur. Let me talk to them too, because you loved your experience with us.
Right.
So it plays a lot. It plays a lot when you're doing a website. It's not just appearance. So the pricing that these people are asking, even the people that are asking for $3,000 for a website, you don't know what it takes. It's not just them just doing appearance. And everyone thinks that building a website is the easiest thing in the world, but you don't have the same results of when a real website designer or a graphic designer does it. You don't have the real results. You have a mock-up, basically, and we take what we look at when we have to come back and fix it to get everything together for you, so that you're able to make your money.
Right.
Everybody
Like we want you to make your we
like,
really do.
everybody wants to make some money. So
Right. Yeah.
why not invest in your brand? Look at your favorite brand. I always tell them, look at your favorite brand and figure out, did they spend $50 on their website? Even if you ask them, some of them may respond back to you how much they paid for a website. Matter of fact, most people have somebody at the bottom of who made it. You can go to their site and see how much that person paid for it. If
Right.
if you want that same result,
Right.
you can always look at the website and see who made it. Some don't have it on there, but majority of them have who designed their website, and you can see how much it costs. Because by that time you're like, okay, yeah, it's gonna take about $1,500. Okay, let me save up. Okay,
Mhm.
I can't launch this month. I don't have $1,500, or next month. I don't have $1,500, but I'm gonna save some money up, so whenever I can at least make the down payment, which is the deposit, non-refundable deposit, so that you're able to get in, send the information over, and still have time to be able to get the remaining amount, because it's not like we're asking for $1,500 in one day.
Right. Yeah.
Most of it is like you send us a deposit.
Right.
So it's all about how you want to do with your brand. Go look at the people that you see, like Fashion Nova, Kaleidoscope, all these different brands that we like and that we wear. See what they sell. See how their website look. If you want it to look like theirs, okay, do they have people in the background on their pictures? They probably don't. They probably have a white background with their product,
Right.
something like that, so that it looks professional. It's all one. We don't have to be like, okay, you got 4 to 5 different backgrounds and you them screenshotted something and we got to try
Right.
to fix that. We're not doing that, because
Right.
we don't have, first off, we don't have the time. That's why we say have everything,
Everything.
product, everything taken care of before you book. Because whenever you push book and we get the non, refundable deposit, guess what's going to happen? We're going to start putting everything in motion. We have to come up with the design. We have to come up with what you like, what you don't like, and try to analyze what you've already sent us so that we know how to do it. It's just the process. It's the process of how it is, and don't question our don't question our process, because what may seem easy to you, it isn't, because it's so much more to it than what you think it is. Really, it is. It takes a lot of work. We working hard for $1,500. Like we really are
Right.
working really, really hard for 50.
Relaxing and
And
chilling out
some
and
of us
stuff.
are underpaid. Some of us have shortened our own self, and we are not uh, at the right price of what we do for what we do. So we work hard for the money that y'all give us. No lie. Like, it's not just us sitting right here and like, oh yeah, I'm gonna make this website real quick and I'm gonna take this person $1,500. No, no. We're up. Some of us are up past our business hours working on your stuff.
Overtime.
Me. That's me. That's me. I'm always up. I don't sleep. I'm a night owl, and then I'm up throughout the day crying because I want to go to sleep. But I'm up with my clients' uh, site, making sure that it's the best that it can be. Because when they launch, my clients tend to cry, so I like to see them cry, not because they're sad, because I turned whatever they had in mind and made it bigger because of the time that I put into it. Because I don't have, do your website. I'm giving you what you paid me to do. So,
Right.
it's really more to this website design game than just appearance. That's one thing about it.
So I'm so glad that we got a chance to talk, and I hope that everybody that was able to tune in, or if you're watching, at a later time, able to take away from what we were sharing. And where can people see your portfolio, or if they're interested in actually utilizing your services in website design, where can they go to do that?
So I have several outlets, but I do have a website because it's important. Uh, my website is www.candyandcoproductions.com. So it's basically my whole name of my brand.com. You're able to find me on Instagram. I have not changed my Instagram name, so it's Chosen for Greatness 21. Or you can look us up at the Kandi and Co Productions Instagram. We're going through a rebranding phase, so you'll have a quick glimpse of what it looks like. But most definitely, you can follow us there. We're on Facebook, so if you go to Facebook, you're able to hit our link, and it will take you directly to our site, because we post a lot on these pages. So you're able to see our content, you're able to see our portfolios. You can even type me in Google, you'll find me. So, you know, just check us out.
But thank you again for taking the time out to chat with me on this subject of website design. Until then, we will see you again. Bye.
Visit us online at www.cphaleinnovationsestateLLC.com.